Welcome to PFACS on EcoDev, the show that takes you inside the economic development of Pflugerville, Texas. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and each episode we will introduce you to the people and events that make our city so attractive to companies and their employees. Pfluger Talk is just another of the impactful initiatives created by the PCDC, Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Michael Anderson, Deputy Assistant Chief at Pflugerville Fire Department, to the show. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Chris. Thanks for this opportunity to come and discuss one of our programs in the community and, let everyone meet one of our former students who now works for our department, and we're happy to highlight what we have going on in the community.
Sweet, excellent. Well, first let's talk about that. We'll then introduce Matthew Lopez and talk about, from the other angle. But first let's start with how this program got started. Give us some background.
Yeah, this program we started in 2018. Our current fire chief brought the program over, and we both, myself and him, and some others in the department had experience teaching at the high school program in Austin. And, really wanted to start a program here, really with kind of two goals in mind. One is to provide, opportunities for high school students to have a high school track where upon qualifying and certifying, they would have an opportunity to leave high school with the ability to go directly into the workforce. And secondly, probably selfishly for us, is we look to this program as a recruiting tool to bring members of our community into our organization to further serve within their community. The program started with providing the firefighter EMT training program. And then starting in 2019, we moved to provide a EMT program through the health sciences track.
Nice. If you could talk about the value from the fire department's point of view of seeing these potential employees in action, not just on a piece of paper like a resume. Talk about that. Yeah,
from the instructor standpoint, it's always a great accomplishment to see the students, succeed in a pretty challenging curriculum. We like to, tell the parents that this is basically a college level class that they're taking on top of their other high school, career duties. So one is, it's very satisfying, to see the students finish the program and achieve something. When you have a student who's afraid of heights, climb a ladder and perform a rescue and overcome a fear and accomplish something they didn't think they could do, that's a great accomplishment. What we see from the employment side is the students who are able to complete the certification, they have the ability to go directly into the workforce, whether that's as a firefighter EMT coming out of the firefighter program, or going to work in the ambulance systems as an EMT from the health science track. And there's all sorts of things students can do with that. They can go to colleges where they can work on ambulances while they're going to colleges. Same deal for fire department, or they could just enter the career force. So we've been fortunate that we've had at least 12 of our students come and serve in our organization, at least some part of their career. And we currently have 5 employed with us currently right now.
Excellent. And I want to talk about the grant made possible by the PCDC, the Community Development Corporation there, for the mobile learning lab. How has that changed things?
Yeah, none of this would be possible if it didn't have partners within the community. The Pflugerville Independent School District has been tremendous with their support from their career and technical education team, their superintendent, and the board, the school board, but also agencies like PCDC who can provide grants that are workforce-based grants that they're not eligible for all entities, or not all types of programs are eligible for them. So we're really fortunate that, PCDC reached out to us after they identified this workforce grant they could go after, a matching workforce grant, had a limited applicability, which meant we were we were eligible to receive it. And they stepped forward with their matching part. So over the mobile learning lab would be the third grant that we've worked with them on. To go back in history, in 2019 to 2020, we did a grant for about $300,000 worth of equipment, and all that equipment really did was help jumpstart providing the equipment for the EMT programs. That included, mannequins and training equipment they use there in the classrooms. It included the uniforms that they have to wear on ride-outs and clinicals, along with protective equipment that they have to have. This last, going back to 2021 into 22, we worked on a grant, another $300,000 grant, and we really utilized this to enhance the learning environment. We reached out and found some high-fidelity mannequins to help provide a more realistic training scenario. We've enhanced our training supplies for what the students are doing, not only in the classroom, but in the schools in regards to stop the bleed and trauma training. And then we had the opportunity to go with the mobile learning lab, which, the PCDC and the school wanted to find an ambulance that we could use, and a decommissioned ambulance, so that the students get to practice in the environment that they're going to actually work in. It takes it from just moving some chairs in a classroom to the corner into mimicking the real world situation. And that's been a tremendous first step. This will be the first year that we're working with that classroom. But it's amazing to see the students' enthusiasm when they go out there and they treat it just like a piece of equipment, a bag of equipment they would use in the job.
Excellent. Yeah, and I can imagine, you mentioned the difference between some chairs laid out in a classroom and an actual ambulance. It's night and day different when you're bumping shoulders and there's equipment in there and it's a tight enclosure.
Yeah, one of the challenges with any of these career and technical-based programs is trying to mimic or recreate the realistic work environments, whether it's welding, whether it's the automotive programs, it's the culinary. And you can also see that would be a big challenge for the school district. How do you start up and make a full kitchen for all their students, so to speak? So having this opportunity from the partnership just creates another level of real world simulation, just as we did with the high fidelity mannequins, just like we did with the real world equipment the students now have at their disposal to train with. It is what they will use in the field. It's what they use on their ride-outs on the ambulance when they're doing clinicals. It's what they use when they go into the hospital setting. So all during their training now, we're better prepared for them to leave the training with skills and abilities of the equipment in a real-world setting, which puts them at an advantage in the new hire kind of learning environment too.
Excellent. And have you seen a difference in the end result as far as the student who goes through the program versus one who just comes in off the street and says, hey, I want to learn this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. By the time the students finish either one of our programs, we'll have anywhere from 1 year from the health science EMT class to 2 years that they'll be exposed to members of our organization. So our groups of employees work with these students, whether it's in the classroom skills, where they mentor them for skills competitions that they participated in. So it's really a time period that we get to know the students, learn their abilities. And then because of all the support and the equipment and the partnership we have, we get to see how the students react and work in the environment, whether it's a skills day in live fire training, whether it's extrication training, whether they're riding out on our ambulances. And, a good success story is two of our students were actually on clinical rotations where a patient that they were around suffered cardiac arrest. And both of our students took, the skills they learned in class and immediately reacted and and because of their actions had an immediate impact on the survivability of both of those patients. For the students that don't go into the career field, may choose another field, we take pride in that the time that they're in that class, they're learning life-saving skills that they can immediately put to work in their homes, around their families, in our community, or wherever their paths take them.
Right on. If you could introduce us to Matthew Lopez and tell us what we should know about him.
Yeah, Matthew Lopez is he's currently a firefighter at Travis County ESD2. He came to us a few years ago, and he was a student in the health science EMT program. Since that time, he's came on to work with us. He's completed all of our duties and gone on to be a paramedic student, which allows him to, advance his skills. And, it's always a pleasure when we get to have Matthew tell his story, because we enjoy hearing his story about how he came full circle to us to serve with us in his community.
I love it. Well, let's do that, Matthew. Welcome to the show, and tell us your story.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I went through high school at Hendrickson in the community in Pflugerville. Didn't really know what I was wanting to do. My parents, or my mom rather, was an RN and an EMT, and so went to a lot of trainings with her at the hospital. So that kind of sparked an interest in EMS. And as soon as the program opened up at high school, I was a senior. I applied, got into the EMT program, and then heard about fire. I thought that was pretty interesting too. So I did both at the same time. And in 2020, I graduated high school with my structural firefighter and my EMT basic, and immediately went into the workforce 2 months later after graduating high school. So I worked at a little rural department down south for about a year until Pflugerville actually opened up their process, and then immediately applied there, got in, and felt right at home. This is my home, this is my community, and so super, grateful that I'm able to serve it. I love showing up to work. It's awesome. I love seeing members of the community. Just love it. Yeah.
Excellent. And talk about that program and where you think you would be if that program wasn't in your high school.
Man, that's a tough one. Definitely that program, it benefited me because I know, multiple coworkers, they went to other places, they went to other schools, they shelled out thousands of dollars. They might not have gotten the best quality of education that I got through the fire department. And like I said, with this program, I felt right at home because I knew several of the instructors. They were, they were no longer my instructors. They were my coworkers now with me working there employed. But just, it was a really good program. I benefited through a lot. Yeah, I could see myself probably going through another program if this wasn't available for me. But like I said, I don't know if I would have gotten the same quality of education that I got through this program, and I would have had to shelled out a lot of money for it.
Right, definitely. And talk about the importance of a program like this as far as keeping people in their neighborhood, because so many kids, when they want to graduate from high school, they have to go find some job somewhere, right? So this, I think, keeps the workforce at home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, there's several of us that have gone through the program and have become firefighters at Pflugerville. But it's super important to remain in the community. When I get a call at work, that could be a teacher, this could be, a friend, this could be anybody. And I have to, do my best and respond to that emergency, knowing that that's someone that I may know. And, for me, that motivates me to do an even better job on my skills, on my life-saving skills, because I know, it's extremely important. And then also just, I feel like the community has given a lot to us. They've given us a learning lab. They've given us these programs, the equipment and stuff. And so for me, it's giving back to that community who's given so much to me so that I can have these certifications and I can serve in the community.
I love that. And now that you're certified and, got experience under your belt, you could go other places and live and get a job. But tell me why Pflugerville stays home for you. What do you love about the city?
Man, I just, it's small, but it's still got, the conveniences of a large city.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like home to me. I go to the station, that's the second home. We go to HEB on shift, that's the HEB I go to on, when I'm at home. It's like a home to me. I would never leave it. Like I said, it's home for me. I love it. Community members are always super nice, super appreciative. Just going to the station, random people from the community will just drop off casseroles and food for us, and it's nice to be, it's nice to know that they care for us. And like I said, it's home for me. It's hard to describe it, but I love it here. I don't want to leave.
I love it. Excellent. Matt, thank you so much for sharing some of your story with us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for having me.
You bet. And Michael, any final thoughts on the program, on PCDC, on Pflugerville? You take it away.
Yeah. As this program has grown up around us, we couldn't be happier. Every year when we meet with the parents for Parents Night, you get a sense of their understanding that the traditional model for for going to college, getting a degree, and then getting the workforce doesn't work for everybody. And this is something that can provide their students a path that they didn't have another opportunity. And we're so happy to do it. We've met some great people in the community doing this. We've worked with some great partners. And, we just want to see it be the best that it can be and continue to put effort into it.
Excellent. I love that. And I want to thank you for spending some time with us, telling us about the program, and thank both of you for being true responders and first responders and the true heroes that you are.
Well, thank you for that, Chris. Appreciate you having the opportunity to have us on here.
Thank you for listening to the PFAX on EcoDev show, brought to you by the Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. I'm your host, Chris Daly. I want to thank my guests. I also especially want to thank you, the listener, for giving me what I consider the most important gift you can, your time, your attention. Please like and share this show so we can get it in front of more people and more people can learn about economic development. To learn more about Pflugerville and all the amazing things going on, head over to pfdevelopment.com.